Hi guys, Chris Dorry here. Today I'll talk about who I think will be the best stoppage player in the competition 4 years from now. And I'll give you a hint, he's only played 5 games. The player I'm talking about, of course, is Tom Green, GWS Giants Academy player and pick 10 in last year's draft. So, why I'm so strong on Green as such a stoppage specialist? Well, it's all here in the stats. So, NAB League high average in disposals, contested possessions clearances, and same in under-18 championships with contested possessions and clearances. Matt Rowell, he would have averaged about 25 disposals, maybe 26 in the under-18 champs. But yeah, obviously great numbers. But it's really the contested possessions and clearances where Green's on another level entirely, where, to my knowledge, I'm not aware of any singular player who has achieved these numbers in either category in NAB League TAC Cup history or under-18 championships history. If you know of a player who has done better than this, let me know in the comments section below, but to my knowledge, there's no one else who is comparable. So what's Green do? Well, it's pretty predictable at stoppages. He'll win first possession pretty much every time. Whether the tap down is directed to him by his own ruckman or the opposition's, he just gets to the right spots and he just knows where to be. He'll win first possession, too strong, he'll just dish it out by hand, and then the ball's just going to go his way. So he's someone where I'd definitely be looking at him to play a more prominent role in the GWS midfield, and frankly, he should have, from round one continuous, just been a starting midfielder for the Giants. So it's been a surprise to me, frankly, that last week was just his 5th game, because he's big time. While it's one thing, of course, to perform as a junior, it's another entirely to perform at AFL level. So what he did against Melbourne last week, and again, to my knowledge, this is something that hasn't been done. Going through some of the best midfielders in recent times, looking at Judd, Joel Selwood, Bontempelli, you name it, I haven't seen any mids that have managed 21 contested possessions in a game. And the key there as well with what Green has done is he's doing it in reduced minutes. He's not playing a high percentage of game time, where on the weekend he played, where was it here? So he played 67% of game time, the third, I think it was probably the second least for the Giants, so second least behind Williams, who of course got hurt. But yeah, doing that, and we've got reduced quarters again this year, so doing that in a game is remarkable. So really, Green needs to be not only a starting midfielder, but probably the guy at stoppages you give the most minutes to be that first possession winner. And of course, I'd be neglectful in pointing out, so Green was picked 10 in last year's draft through the academy, but having a bid come so late for him, for mine, is just disrespectful. My analysis of last year's draft, and this was the case throughout the year, really at the start of the year, I actually had Green 1 with Anderson 2, Rowell 3, and then the order just flipped around as the year progressed. But really, between Rowell, Anderson, and Green, there wasn't any meaningful separation. Green, of course, last year was that premier first possession winner, that real stoppage specialist. I think he'll be better than Patrick Cripps purely at stoppages. Maybe not overall, but as that pure stoppage player, I think he'll be the absolute sort of best first possession winner in the game. And then you've got Anderson, who he's looking terrific and he'll keep getting better. I think he'll even start impacting games more forward of centre. And of course, you've got Rowell, who had the most phenomenal of starts before injury, and he'll obviously be an absolute sensation for years to come. And if I was to look ahead at next year's rising star, well, you've got both Matt Rowell, who has played few enough games where he'd still qualify, where he can be nominated again, and same with Green, where both playing so few games, they're actually eligible for next year's rising star, and they'd have to be well and truly in that mix as those, probably if I was to redo the 2019 draft, in my opinion, those top 2 players, if I was to pick again and really take players for the long term. I'd also like to be really clear with my comments around Green. I don't think he'll ever become the best midfielder in the game by any means. A bit like a Patrick Cripps, he's really a specialist at one thing, where, although, look, with Green, he can go forward of centre and he's actually a pretty strong mark, and he does have that capacity to rest as a forward, and I think that'll continue to grow as he progresses. He's very much someone where is that real pure first possession winner at stoppages. He could be in a historic context one of, if not the best at that specific part of the game. But as to whether he would be the best overall, well, there's guys who can obviously burst out of stoppages better, have better skills, can do more around the ground. So I wouldn't say he'll ever become that most complete or best or most, I guess, dominant overall midfielder, but certainly as a pure stoppage specialist and that guy who can just get you first possession, dish it off to one of the speedier mids, I think just as that purely, he'll be the best in the business. Let me know in the comments section below who 4 years from now you think will be that dominant stoppage player. Will it be Green, or will there be someone else who will be the clear standout? And make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future updates. Thanks guys, see you in the next video.